entering this shining moon city, the monster race cultivators only needs to pay 3 middle-grade Saint Crystal to enter, but Xianxia needs to pay a 1 high-grade Saint Crystal to enter. Regarding this, Xianxia didn't complain, and after paying the 2 Saint Crystals, he and Xianxia entered the city. The extremely spacious street is large enough to accommodate several 4-horse carts driving side by side. On both sides of the street, a variety of shops and people are full in sights. From time to time, there are human race and monster race cultivator coming in and out, looking busy. The owners of those shops also catered to them very closely, soliciting business for their shops. Xianxia traveled all the way and found that most of the shops were opened by humans. There were very few monster race shops. In terms of business, human race are obviously more talented than monster race. Along the way, Xianxia's eyes gradually brightened. He discovered that on this Monster Emperor star, there are many cultivation materials that are not available on the Shadowed star. This is also a normal thing. Every different place or area has its own unique product. The Monster Emperor star is the dominant cultivation star of the monster race. Here, the goods that appear the most on the market are naturally the body materials of the monster beast and core. When he discovered this, Xianxia was shocked. He did not expect that in the city of the monster race, everyone was blatantly doing the monster beast business. This made him very puzzled. After all, there are many monsters in the monster race who are from the incarnation of monsters. Don't they have any sense of rejection? For example, in the city of Shadowed Star, if someone sells human limbs or internal organs, no one will patronize it. But thinking carefully, Xianxia was relieved again. The existence was reasonable. Since the business of monster beasts in this place is so hot, he thinks everyone has become accustomed to it. What's more, not all of the people in the monster race come from the incarnation of monsters, even those cultivators who are incarnated by monster beast to monster race. When they are monster beast, it will also kill other weak or species and eat their flesh and blood, swallow their core and strengthen themselves. Xianxia looked on enthusiastically. Junior brother, there are so many high-grade materials here. Xianxia's eyes were already beaming. On the Tangshuan continent, she was restricted by the level of the materials produced in the mainland and could not refine higher-level pills, but as soon as she came to Monster Emperor Star, she was like entering a huge treasure house. The dazzling array of high-grade materials made her wish to buy them all, and then go back to refine the pill. Now that she has refined the star source, the prosperity and decline of Tangshuan continent are closely related to her, so Xianxia couldn't wait to improve her strength. For her, alchemy is cultivation. She can improve her cultivation at an abnormal speed by refining pills. Well, it's a pity that we don't have much Saint Crystal left. Xianxia also had a headache. Xianxia has taken a fancy to these materials, why wouldn't she? But most of the Saint Crystals he carried had already been used when Xianxia refined the star source. The rest can only be used as a spare and cannot be purchased in large quantities. Looking at Xianxia's disappointed eyes, Xianxia smiled slightly, but it doesn't matter if you buy some. The little senior sister suddenly smiled, her eyes bent into a beautiful crescent shape. The two immediately walked into a shop, began to check the goods, and bargained with the owner of the shop. Half a day later, Xianxia's space ring had a lot of materials for alchemy. There are also many in Xianxia's space ring. They are all medicinal materials obtained in the floating continent and in the Emperor Garden. The other ones were purchased on the Shadowed Star. If it matches with those monster core, many ancient pill recipe on the alchemy true understanding can be used. Xianxia has not been able to collect the materials needed for these ancient pill recipes. Most of them need the inner core of monster beast as materials. On the Shadowed Star, the number of powerful monster beast is scarce. But this Monster Emperor Star met his requirements greatly. There are not many other things in this place, but the body materials of the monster beast are countless. He was already considering whether he should stay in this place for a while and search it carefully. In addition to the materials for alchemy, he also needs the spirit of monsters to cultivate blood beasts, and he also needs the elixir of Void King grade. But not having a saint crystal is still the biggest problem. After buying the materials, Xianxia took Xianxia to the nearest inn and asked for a good room. Although the architectural style of Shining Moon City is very rough, the wing rooms where Xianxia and Xianxia lived are very delicately managed. The environmental conditions of the rooms are all excellent, and there are restrictions around the rooms, which can block the prying divine consciousness from others. This can be regarded as protecting the privacy of the guests. The owner of the inn is a monster race cultivator, but he is not as domineering as other monster race. The old man is still very amiable and warmly received Xianxia and his little senior sister, which slightly changed his bad perception of the monster race. After arranging for Xianxia to stay, Xianxia left the inn and began to inquire about available information in Shining Moon City. He didn't forget that the main reason for coming over this time was to look at Xianxia, but now, how to approach Lord of the Red Moon Territory Palace is the biggest problem he has to face. After staying in Shining Moon City for several days, Xianxia couldn't do anything about it. Instead, he used the limited saint crystals in his hand to buy some precious monster beast materials. Young man, you seem to have something in your mind. On this day, Xianxia was drinking and meditating in the inn. The owner of the inn walked over with a smile, took the initiative to add a plate of dishes to Xianxia and sat opposite him. I see that you are looking for people to inquire about the palace lord these few days. Do you want to see the palace lord? The old man of the monster race looks friendly, looks like he is about 50 or 60 years old, and his waist is a little rickety. In recent days, he has also taken good care of Xianxia and tried his best to satisfy every request. Seeing him sitting down, Xianxia chuckled and said, without hiding it from the old man, I'm not asking to see the palace lord when I inquire about the palace lord. Oh. The owner of the inn looked at him with interest. Then what do you want to do? Do you know that your inquiries like this have attracted the attention of many people, and the monster race is not too friendly to humans? I understand. Xianxia nodded lightly. When he was looking for someone to inquire these days, he did feel this. Those monster race cultivator either ridiculed him, dismissed him, even talked badly, and threatening him. If it weren't for Red Moon Territory's many rules, some monster race cultivator would already attack him. A mere human race daring to inquire about the palace's lord, he simply doesn't know how high the world is. You don't want to see the lord, so what's the matter? The inn owner asked. Actually, I have a friend who should be in the lord's palace. I haven't seen my friend in decades. The last time I saw my friend, I was in a hurry. I didn't even have time to say goodbye, so I wanted to visit. Xianxia answered honestly. Friend, woman, right? The owner of the inn smiled awkwardly, with an expression that he knew everything. Xianxia chuckled dryly. That woman likes you? The inn owner asked again. Old man, you are gossiping. Xianxia blushed. The old man smiled slightly, but did not entangle this issue much, but said with emotion, you are so lucky. I think the woman who came with you is also a good girl. She live in a simple way, and there are women outside thinking about you. Well, the old man is envious. As soon as the conversation changed, the old man said, in fact, it is very simple to inquire about things in the palace. Oh. Please enlighten me, old mister. Xianxia immediately came to his mind, and asked humbly. People in the palace, every month or so, probably go out to purchase some supplies. Our Shining Moon City is not too far away from the palace, and it is also prosperous, so they are generally regarded as the primary goal. Every month, there are people from the palace coming here. You only need to wait a few days to see the maidservant of the palace. If you are lucky, you might be able to meet that woman directly. He was obviously the same as the first monster race cultivator Xianxia had seen before, thinking that Xianxia's friend was a maid in the palace. After all, human race have such a status when entering the palace. Xianxia's eyes lit up. Although the owner of the inn had misunderstood Xianxia's identity, this might be a good solution. If the maidservant who came out of the palace could give Xianxia a message or something, then all the problems would be easily solved. Thank you for your advice. Xianxia clasped his fists in joy. It's okay, this old man didn't do anything, no need for thanks. Old mister. Xianxia looked at him with a light smile. I feel that your attitude towards human race is very different from other monster races. Don't you reject humans? Rejection? Why? The owner of the inn looked at Xianxia with a smile. Human race are very good. When the old man was young, he knew a very special human race. Xianxia clearly saw a strong softness flashing in his eyes. He suddenly understood something. Forget it, don't say it, young man, take it easy, the old man is old, go and lie down for a while. The owner of the inn suddenly became somewhat distracted. Xianxia sighed silently. It seems that when the owner of the inn was young, he seemed to like a woman from the human race. Cross-racial love, this kind of thing cannot be easily tolerated in any place, not to mention, here is the Monster Emperor Star, where only the monster race has status, and human race have no status at all. However, it is precisely because of this disallowance that many places have been created. In the end, the cross-racial love union ended up being separated and even both lost in love, which is an epic legendary story. Xianxia didn't think too much, drank a few glasses of wine, returned to the room, and after a few words with Xianxia who was making alchemy, he went straight to the city gate. According to the owner of the inn, the days when the maidservant from the palace purchased supplies are also these few days. Xianxia is going to squat guard, see if he can find a suitable candidate. He will let them send a message to Xianxia. To be continued.